A ruler, the clear ones work best. A pencil with a working eraser. Scissors, make sure they're craft scissors and not your fabric scissors. And paper. Any size paper will do, scrap paper, whatever, just as long as it's big enough for your alteration. The first step in altering your pattern is establishing an adjustment line if you don't already have one in the pattern. Typically this is parallel to the ground when worn. Use your center front of your pattern piece and find vertical, using either the grain line or the center front. From there, draw a clear line 90 degrees perpendicular to the vertical line you're using. Add another clear vertical line perpendicularly crossing the adjustment line. Go ahead and repeat on your other pattern pieces at this point before we start the alterations. Draw the alteration amount half above and half below the adjustment line. You want to make sure that your lines are clear so they're easy to find. Now you need to fold along the bottom of the adjustment line out toward yourself. Fold, 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 foldy, foldy. Do, do, do. Now that that's established, bring that new folded edge up to the top line that you drew. Fold and crease and make sure that all of your lines are lined up nicely. Now tape it into place to make sure it's secure. You'll be drawing on this pattern and doing some other things, so you want to make sure it's very secure. Tapey, tapey, tapey. Now it's time to true up the pattern. Tape your piece of paper to the outer edge of your pattern. You don't need a ton of tape, just enough to keep it from moving. Find your finished seam lines of the pattern. These are not your seam allowance. You might need to readjust your paper. If you adjusted your pattern less than half an inch, your lines will just need blended a little bit from the top and bottom of the pattern. But for a more drastic adjustment, as seen here with more than half an inch of shortening, I suggest connecting the lines starting from just a few inches below the top edge of the pattern to a few inches up from the waist marking. With the seam line adjusted, we now have to alter the seam allowances of the pattern. Measure the original seam allowance of the pattern and draw a new parallel line, in the same amount to the new seam lines you just created. Blend to true up those lines to the original pattern. Now get out your scissors and cut away. And here is your new adjusted pattern. Repeat with your additional pattern pieces.